Welcome to Beyond the Buzzer.
Hi, I'm Josh, and this is my best friend Kyle.
You might recognize us. We are rural American high school athletes from the 90s, after all.
And we're here again on camera after 30 years to bring you our travels from
Beyond the Buzzer.
Hey guys, this is Josh. I'm back here with my best friend Kyle on Beyond the Buzzer. And in this episode, we have just woken up in Belgium and taken a couple of trains over to get back to France. So first of all, Kyle, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. We got to do some full-time stuff with the family this week. We had to break the flannel out because it is that season now in Nova Scotia. The weather has changed, and yeah,
I had to break out the good old Halloween shirt. So
awesome.
Getting that spooky season feeling, you know.
Still got my Halloween decoration back here of the Thriller album posted for us. So, and yeah, we'll get more into some of your background during this episode.
Yeah, there's a lot back there.
No, it's fun to go over the France pictures with us. It has been less than a year since we were over there, so you want to lead in that morning of how we get from there to here?
So let me get the screen going here. So like Josh had said, we just finished. We had breakfast in Belgium. We took off in Bruges. Yeah. We had a quick stop for lunch in Brussels, then another train.
Just right next to the train station. Nothing fancy, but good little Italian place. It was good. Some good places to eat around the train station there in Brussels. Wish we could have gone downtown, but
yeah. Then we hop on our next train and catch I think we had a couple subway switches to do to get to our hotel, but we walk out of the subway station and boom, here we are, Eiffel Tower Paris, right behind us.
No, and it was about a day's trip, but fun travel though. Lots of cool stuff to see on the trains and the scenery. Good. We were riding the trains in the daylight. Got there and a little bit of a navigation to figure out the Paris subway system. It's pretty easy once we got it down, and we got it from way over by the train station on I guess it would be the east side of Paris, and then came back into the tower somehow.
So we went in, we checked into our hotel, dropped our bags off. It's about 9 o'clock at night or so right now, but we're like, we've only got really a night here, so let's go exploring.
No, this is going to be quick, and we've saved we've saved a big experience that we're going to do for the next episode for tomorrow. Is one of the highlights of our trip. But see the landmarks while we're there. So we're walking distance from the Eiffel Tower. So we take off towards it.
Yeah, this is just us walking out of our hotel, and that's our view.
Yep, glass of wine, and let's go.
Yep. So we did have to stop and refuel at this little corner cafe here next to our hotel.
It was, we had our jackets and our hats on, but not as cold as it looks. Though it's pretty decent, and the bottles of wine that we're paying $20, $30 over here for, they're paying like 12, 15 for. So it's even at the restaurants, it's so easy to split one.
Yeah, and I think this was I believe it was a Tuesday night, if I remember right, or a Monday night or Tuesday night. Yeah.
That's the classic look right there. They got the chairs outside, the tablecloths and the stuff inside. Every corner's got something like this.
So we just went with a charcuterie board, and I can't even begin to describe how good this was.
It was awesome cheap. I can't imagine. I can't imagine we paid more than $20 for that. We split it, and our intentions were to get that and then get a steak, and that did not happen.
No, we got so full and bread and wine and chips and
lots of different kinds of hams and cheeses. So good.
Yeah. So here's another view.
It's so cool because there's no pubs there, there's no bars, there's just cafes, and that's the deal. Little food, all wine, and go.
Yep. So we're all refueled and ready to go for just a short little walk over the river to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did have to cross the river, but super close. We got to see a bunch of cool barges on the river. People were living in them. Then some of them were restaurants and wine on the river too.
Yeah, we tried to go in one and it was closed for the night. It was a restaurant. Yeah. And I know everybody has seen thousands and thousands of pictures of the Eiffel Tower, but until you see it in person, it's just, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of breathtaking when you see it in real life.
I've seen the Sears Tower, the Statue of Liberty, stuff like that is, there it is. It's the Eiffel Tower. Not that impressed, but I'll tell you, the closer and closer I got to it and saw all the intricate work that it took to put this thing together, something else.
Yeah.
Really, really iconic.
And to get there, as we're walking across, we walked between, I believe it was twin museums, and one of them was, or I believe they're museums. One of them was architecture, and then let's say the other one was like some kind of art or something. Yeah.
Yep.
And these were just the statues and stuff outside of those.
Didn't get to see those in the day, but I compare it a little bit to DC, but just like, very monuments and museums everywhere on the walk out there. And then once you get up to the Eiffel Tower, you're looking around, you can see lots of destination places, but we weren't there long enough to go inside many of them.
Yeah. So we're
cool to be in Paris. We're in Paris.
We're just looking around, people drinking wine on the streets, just of course,
very casual, very casual. They do love cigarettes over there. We discovered that.
Yes, they do. So here, like I said, here's where, if you look down here, this is where we walked from our hotel between these two museums, and then we came around and came down the stairs.
I think it's a kind of beautiful fountain in the summertime. You'll see more pictures of that in a second.
Yeah. But sorry, so many pictures of the Eiffel Tower. Like I said, the pictures don't do it justice. It's pretty amazing.
It is really cool. Open late too, and lots of vending going on around it. Lots of excitement. Lots of people cooking, selling different things, selling souvenirs, and something I'd never seen before: the roasted chestnuts. They had little bitty campfire stoves. I guess they were like little charcoal buckets, and they had them in shopping carts, and using the shopping carts as grills to heat up chestnuts and different kind of foods and stuff.
Yeah.
So the smells in the air were rich.
I want to say,
everything in France we ate was awesome.
Weren't they doing like some sausages and stuff too? It seems like
sausages and big skillets of all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah. So here's that fountain Josh was talking about. In the winter, it's turned off, but during the summer, this is actually a big flowing fountain, apparently.
Yep. And you'll see when we get on. There's the river. Some of the restaurants on the right down there. That's where we tried to go.
I believe it was
if we'd have been there. If we'd have been there early in the day, that'd have been sweet to sit on those boats and watch all the different canal boats that go up and down.
And here's just a shot of Paris from the bridge.
Not tall where we were. I don't know. I'm sure there's some skyscrapers and more like New York, Chicago kind of feel, but Paris is pretty low buildings, just low and flat, but very spread out, huge.
You can see the Eiffel Tower from just about anywhere. I know Josh and I used it to navigate around while we were walking, because we were like, okay, our hotel is this direction from the Eiffel Tower, so that's how we got around.
Just right on that river, so you just follow the river up and down, and stuff on both sides of it all the way up. Lit up so cool.
Yeah. And then here, so we started to walk up to it, and we're like, do we want to go up? I don't know. Is it really worth it?
$35 a piece or something.
And to go all the way to the top, because they've got levels. There's 2 different levels you can go to.
And of course, not walk, ride the elevator.
Right. And then we got there, and there was literally nobody in line.
No, so if you're going to Paris, and you happen through there in December, that really good. We didn't wait in line for much over there, actually.
No.
I'll tell more stories about that, but not that cold. Weather, put on a jacket and a hat, and a scarf, you're good to go anywhere and beat the tourist crowds. Yeah. The food and wine's just as good in the winter as it is in the summer. So
oh yeah, definitely. And then I guess it's every hour on the hour. For those of you that didn't know, the Eiffel Tower sparkles.
We're giving away a very good secret here. I think this is well kept. It lights up, and there's sparkly lights all over it, and it dances, and it goes crazy every hour, and it's really something to see. So
I didn't know about it till I saw it happening.
I've never seen it in movies or shot anywhere. I don't know why they keep it on the DL, but it's a spectacle. It's really fun. And so cool.
Here's a shot from below the Eiffel Tower. Josh and I came up with a pretty cute nickname for it, but we're going to keep that to ourselves.
It's in the internal. So, look, you can now we're getting some of these closer pictures. I do want to just back this up for a second. So, this is it was built for 1889 for the World's Fair, and it was going to be hosted in Paris, of course, to celebrate the 100 years of the French Revolution. But once Kyle and I got close to that, neither one of us are engineers, but we do appreciate engineering and architecture.
Right.
So this thing was 18,000 pieces that were assembled. I've never assembled anything like that, but it's just like a big erector set, and I think there was 250,000 some odd rivets that they had to put in. Took a couple years to get it all put together, but it's cool. You could see how you could do a lot with that.
Yeah,
But
it's like I said, it's pretty amazing, especially considering how long ago it was done.
well, the craftsmen and even
1880s.
the metal workers and painters that have to keep that up, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have trouble putting together Legos with instructions, so I couldn't even
But-
imagine doing something like
But
this.
behind you, if we could zoom in on your screen for a second, you have
yeah,
you
I
have
think we can do that.
you have so Kyle has experience with assembly. I
Little
think
bit.
that he could have probably been the project manager on this part. But behind you, what are we seeing up there behind you? What's
Well,
this cast?
just here in the top corner, that's Hogwarts. That's a complete Hogwarts from Harry Potter. It was a little over 6,000 pieces, and you can't
Yeah,
see
so-
them quite as well. But we've also got Castle Grayskull right there, which was about 2,000, and Voltron standing next to him, but you can't see him.
Those are all fitting in with our Halloween themes and shows that, if we get a project like that that takes us on travel, we have some beginner skills that we could put to work and assemble something like this across the world for people. So
If we need to build a new national monument of some sort, we're open to that. So,
Hogwarts has already happened. All right. So
so like I said, there was no line, so we're like, we took that as a sign that we had to go up in the Eiffel Tower.
it was
and
so worth it. Even if there is a line,
100%.
you're in Paris, go to the fucking top of the Eiffel Tower. It's worth it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like I said, we hadn't intended on it until we got up there and it was empty, and then we're like, why did we ever question this? We should have just immediately had this on our list. So this is the first level you can go to.
Yeah.
So this is just a
So
view of how we walked up.
And it's a foggy night, but Paris, City of Lights. There's enough lights burning through the fog, and you could see why they called it the City of Lights. It's everywhere.
And there's the Arc de Triomphe. We'll get a little closer look at that later on. There's a view from the tower. So this is me on the observation deck. See, there's telescopes and things you can look through. I don't think we did those. We didn't
No,
really
the
need
day
them.
though, you get to see a lot, but I don't know. I enjoyed every second I was on there. I knew it was fleeting. I'm never going to be maybe back on the Eiffel Tower. I'm only there for once, and just take your time and soak it up. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Lean on the rail, put out the vibe like Josh and I did.
That's right.
So yeah, here's another view. And again, this is just the first deck. We're getting ready to go up higher.
It's wild. This river, it's the main thoroughfare, of course, and all the commerce that had Paris running off the ocean. Little bitty bridges. There's not tall. So there's like shallow boats going up and down all the time. Fun to watch the traffic.
Yeah, and so I guess Mr. Eiffel built himself a little apartment there. So he would stay there when he came to Paris. And this was, I believe, Thomas Edison.
Meeting with
this little-
Thomas Edison when they came up there, and his daughter would stay up there as well. So yeah, that's one benefit he gave for himself building this is he had a place to stay in right downtown London,
Yeah.
which is great.
Talk about privacy too.
Yeah.
And this
All
is
those
just
little bit
some
of
of
the
the
history.
some of the important dates, but it was all in French, and my French was a little rusty, so I couldn't translate it.
Yeah, but radio tower important throughout the ages, not only just for its looks and always a controversial structure. They talked about taking it down but now of course
Yeah.
it stood the test of time.
Yeah, it was originally intended to be temporary, and they were going to take it down after the World's Fair. Still going. And this is a picture. This is the actual top that became a radio tower, I believe.
But we didn't get that close.
So here's up at the top level, so you can see we're starting to get up into that fog a little bit more, and a little more
Yes,
safety
I think-
precautions up there.
Yep, a net.
And this is going to look like a weird picture, but if I was trying to get this piece right up here, that's the very top of the tower.
Yeah, we're still
So,
that far from the
We're
top.
still that far from the top, and we were up high enough that our stomachs were starting to churn a little bit.
Absolutely, but you can see how much metal and it's just crazy how much this is put together. This is it said break glass in case of emergency, but no kidding. During the days they do have restaurants where they serve champagne, and we did not make it early enough for that.
Yeah, they were closed, unfortunately. This is just to show all of our friends that I'm taller in Europe than I
Yeah,
am.
he's basically Wimbiana. He's playing for the San Antonio Spurs. He's It's amazing. The metric system does really crazy things. I think this thing's like 1,000 feet tall, but 300 meters. So that shows you how tall Kyle is in Europe.
Yeah, I was just towering over people. So here we are going back down in the elevator. Josh checking out the elevator shaft there.
All the construction work. Yeah, I don't know. That's not the Paris Eye, but some kind of Paris wheel.
It's a shot of Paris out of on the way down there.
Some big, huge churches everywhere, museums everywhere you look, all lit up.
So again, this is from the first deck. We're on our way back down. You can take an elevator to the top deck, but the first deck is stairs.
Crazy.
Just another view of the city.
Go up that if you're there.
Yeah. There's another, again, there's the Ark. And
some kind of museum back there.
Yeah, we're not
all like laid out and
Yeah. And there's a pretty big building there, so you can see we start to get some tall stuff.
Some of this all on that side of the town, yeah.
Elevator shaft on the way down. So we stayed long enough to see it light up again, our second time.
A couple hours.
And then
finally
we got thirsty.
I know we couldn't. I don't know. You know, we're over here by the monuments. There's not exactly storefronts everywhere, so we don't know where to get wine at this time of night except going to cafes. And it's getting late, and of course, the guys that are going to Chestnuts on the shopping carts have bottles and bottles of wine. So
I think we got 2 bottles of wine for $20 or something like that.
And I don't know what the rules are there, but it's Europe. You can just open them and walk them in the street. Nobody cares.
Yeah, they opened it for us.
No, it's just a nice thing to do. You're just walking around like it's soaking in Parisian wine in Paris.
Gave us some cups and just enjoying the walk. That reminds me, we forgot to tell everybody the name of this episode, but we decided to call it A Good Day to Wine Hard. Pay homage to the Die Hard franchise.
Because we were on top of that building, I think we felt very similar emotions. You know?
Yes, I think we knew what Hans Gruber was feeling right before he fell off Nakatomi. So we ended up, after our wine, we went home and called it a night because we did have plans to get up early the next day.
It was a long day of train rides and stuff too. So we had gone hard at Bruges the night before. So
yeah. So but our plan, I believe this was Wednesday morning. We were going to the Louvre, and that will be the next episode. So we're going to skip forward a little bit. And this was just our afternoon, just exploring Paris.
Yeah, you could go to Paris for the Louvre alone. So this is just a quick circle around all the monuments close to our hotel. So
yeah,
so we're skipping a day forward in the trip wise. But
so we started heading off. One of the places that our buddy Nick told us we had to see was the Saint Chapelle Church.
We had heard of Dave Chappelle, so we thought maybe it was one of his forefathers. I don't know.
We thought maybe he'd be there dressed as Prince or something. I don't know.
Yeah, walked across the river. So walkable in Paris. Subway system's easy to figure out. So we got our map and headed out. So this is some old government buildings and stuff that were going down past here.
And I believe this was like some sort of federal courthouse or something.
I think it was some kind of maybe even the Supreme Court, but there was a
lot of guys with very big guns walking around there.
Yeah, it was serious. It was definitely some kind of federal institution, and it was an old king's quarter, so it makes sure that they, keeping all these buildings working for the state. I guess there it is on the outside, but
so here was this is
nothing.
Saint Chapelle. So we're going in. We're like, okay, we trust Nick, and we walk in. So this is the first thing we walk into here.
Oh yeah, they started construction on this place in 1238, which blows my mind. King Louis IX or something like that commissioned the place, and so we walked downstairs. We're checking out the downstairs, and man, it's a super nice, fancy church. Wow, this is cool. Nick's right. The stained glass is great.
Yeah, but then we walked into the next room, and that's when we realized why he told us to go, because this place is just.
Yeah, we did not know that was going to happen. So there's a lot more stained glass upstairs. So don't just stay downstairs if you go.
Definitely.
So I've heard this described as Kyle and I were talking about this, but I've heard this described as a comic book of Bible verses from the Apocalypse back to Genesis, and there's I think 1,103 pieces of different glass. Each of them has a different story. You'll recognize some of them walking through there. And we're on a partially cloudy day, but still really illuminated. I can imagine if it was super sunny what we'd been seeing.
And Josh and I, we tried to decipher some of these panels, and we thought we saw ourselves in one where I was giving Josh a gift just before the apocalypse hit.
That was somewhere 944, I think, one of the 100
One
of
of
the
those panels. Yeah.
113 panels. Talk about that in later episodes, but it was definitely foreshadowing of the future.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this is I don't know. I mean, like you putting on the 3D glasses and going to a Marvel movie for the first time or something like this is just more than that. I'm just talking about the visually stunning. This guy's seeing
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you could just tell by the look on this guy's face. He's taking it in.
He knows he's seeing it. He knows what he's getting into.
Mm.
But you just can't describe how gorgeous this place is. It's just a hall of light. And I don't know how these glasses stood up through the ages like this, but
And this was
even today, like you can imagine, just walking in there.
and just imagine, hundreds of years ago, this is the pulpit where the priest would stand to deliver the mass. Just
to the king and his court, everything else. And there's lots of relics stored there, as there was in it's where we're going next, across the river to Notre Dame. Lots of relics from the Catholic.
so this is the
this thing
back.
on the
This is the
back,
back wall with the big circular.
I mean, even the
glass.
woodwork and the doors and the paintings on this stuff, we didn't know what, and it's like, it's a little bit to get in. You got to pay 30 bucks, 20 bucks. I don't know, a piece, but you're never going to witness this again. Do this stuff when you're over there.
And here's a panoramic shot. I'm going to try to hide Josh and I so you can see it all, but it doesn't really do it justice. But
but that's cool. It just shows you how much panels and how much stuff is through there. Stay there you sit there and contemplate life for a long time in this place. We spent maybe 30, 45 minutes, but it'd be a good day to go spend time. And
then we got thirsty.
Across the street, another cafe. You walk in, I think they had the World Cup going on inside, but we chose to sit outside, had the plastic up and the heaters going on. And, like I said, we're used to bars. They don't have bars; they have cafes, and so you just go to the cafe and you sit down, you split a bottle. The service is great or nice. It's slow, but a classy slow. It's and not expensive.
Yeah, I think like 12, 13 bucks or something for that bottle of wine.
Or delicious bottle of wine.
Fantastic.
Excellent stuff. You can't score over. You can't score over here.
Not at all. So here we are heading to Notre Dame. And of course, they were still doing the repairs from the big fire. The 2019.
2019 was when it burned, and we were there just right after that. 2022. So it hadn't been long, and I think Notre Dame started construction in like 1163. So everybody knows about the Notre Dame Cathedral, the Gothic construction, and super sad about the old timbers burning. But I think they've almost got it back together.
Yeah, and this is the Fountain of St. Michael that we passed on the way.
Plethora of marble and sandstone and iron and bronze and just priceless sculptures everywhere you look. You're over there in Europe, especially beautiful city like Paris.
I mean, cocktails and dreams.
And we didn't stop, but good advertising. It's very good advertising, and in English they attract our kind. So we kept on moving. So we wanted to find
we kept on going to Notre Dame. Of course, couldn't go inside because of the construction, but it's still pretty amazing to behold, even with all the damage.
No hunchback that we noticed.
Quasimodo was not there.
No.
I'll tell you where he probably was. We'll see it coming up. So here's where they're just some of the scaffolding stuff where they're still doing the repairs.
Be worth going back to, but
great
neighborhood, lots of stuff up and down, and here we go. Paris, the coffees. They know how to do espresso. They got it down. They know how to do serve.
Good.
They know how to do every single thing consumption wise, as far as I can tell.
And then we had some crepes.
Yes, you got to do that in Paris. I did like the meat and cheese, the egg scramble kind of thing. And it was excellent. But I took a bite of what Kyle ordered here. I'll let him describe it.
Yeah, so I did the strawberries and Nutella. Nutella is really big over there. And
so good.
Oh man, it was like a little bite of heaven. It was
It
so
really, they're
good.
so fluffy. So yeah, don't miss the crepes. That we have we've already visited Mahone Bay where the mean crepe lady is. These are much nicer crepes over there.
Much
If you
nicer.
remember other episodes,
Or like in Ricky Bobby, it's the really thin pancakes.
really, really good though. The skinny pancake.
So I think this was a picture. We took a picture of the screen when we were buying our subway tickets to make sure that we got back to our hotel okay. And we were a
Yep.
little nervous about riding the subway over there, but it's actually really, really easy.
Yeah, they're nice. Really ornate entryways and tunnels that you're going through. The construction's good. They accentuate everything in Paris. Everything's glorified, glamour, and construction, and more ornate than anywhere I've been. But yeah, we didn't speak French, and everything was very French in Paris, of course, which I
Yeah.
understand. They're keeping their heritage and everything else. But yeah, we take a picture when you're going through the subway so you can figure out where you're
Yeah,
going.
because and it's got a lot of preloaded landmarks there on the touch screen, and you say I want to go from here to here. You can see, and it shows you which two trains. Like we had to take the blue B to get on the red A, or whichever direction
Yep.
we were going at the time. But it's really easy to get around, so don't let that stress you out when you go
No,
over there.
no, super easy.
So yeah, so here we go.
It's dark.
Speaking of, we got off the subway and we're like, all right, which way do we need to go to see the Ark? And we
There
didn't
it was.
realize it was right behind us.
It
See
was
how
right behind
massive
us.
it is.
Forgot about that.
Oh, there it is.
So this is the Arc de Triomphe. The 1806 construction started. This is to celebrate the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars and all the stuff that the French soldiers died and fought for their independence and freedom. And so big landmark for their country. And they had parades going through this for years. They had a roundabout of traffic going around there. I would never be able to navigate in my entire life. There's no lanes. There's no sense to it. I have no idea how people are doing this. They're honking, and a cluster of cars behind us over there.
And it's probably like what 7 or 8, enough for like 7 or 8 lanes to circle around it. It's really big.
No clue how they do that.
Yeah, so there's just a better look. It's a
Yeah, and you can
really cool structure.
Yeah, and you can go inside it and go up in it and everything else, but
Yeah, and I think that
guess
used to be free, but then they charge you for it, and we're just like, no, I think I can see
Oh,
it from here.
sure it'd been worth it, but we had other stuff we had to do, so just getting the
Right.
pictures, making sure we cruise past there.
But yeah, so this ended our day in Paris. We ended up there at the Arc de Triomphe. Like I said, we'll fill you in on the rest of our day in the next episode because
Going to the Louvre because that's like I said,
man.
you spent 3 weeks there alone, and not to underplay this. So we're just tired. We're running through Paris, and we're like, just happy to be there, but like just seeing all the monuments, all the texture, going to get the little bottles of wine, and just walking through Paris. I mean, we get it. We're there in December. It's not it's not the flowers and everything else. It's not the time, but uh, I don't doubt there's many people that ever go to Paris and are disappointed. It's an awesome city.
And I believe when we finished here, we decided, well, we'll just walk back to the hotel, and that's again, we use the Eiffel Tower to navigate, like the sailors and the stars back in the old days.
And I'll suggest this if you're going to Europe and you don't know it. I took off my hiking boots and I went in and bought a pair of Nikes because my feet were whipped. So even it's very urban. You're walking on concrete all the time, even if it's a little wet. Bring a pair of very comfortable sneakers when you're going to all these places in Europe, so you can walk.
Comfort over fashion when talking about shoes, for sure.
Yeah.
But so here's the hotel we stayed at. It was just the Best Western. But like I said, they have rooms with views of the Eiffel Tower. It is right in the middle of everything. Very affordable for its location.
We couldn't. Kyle had a buddy that suggested this that had been over there before, and he's like, "Dude, there's a Best Western you can see the Eiffel Tower from. That's like under a couple $100, something a night." Like, are you kidding me?
I think like 120 or something like that, which in the heart of Paris. We're like,
it's so easy and it clean, and people are very nice up front. It's like a very small, really small, but you're not there for long. It's just a place to lay your head when you're sleeping. And there's one of the places we went right outside of it to go get a glass of wine. And
that's a little like cigar shop right there, I believe, next to it.
Yeah. So cool. Great streets.
And
Lots of stuff.
This was our room. I mean, again, the you know, you're going to get cozy with somebody whether you want to or not. That's supposed to be two
Nope.
beds. There's about a 3-inch gap between the mattresses right there, I think.
Yeah, but you're going with good friends, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah. We passed
The-
out so quick it didn't
Yeah.
really matter.
Really,
But,
yeah. So yeah, we're heading back out of Paris in the morning. We will be after that night, but
Right.
but we skipped over our Louvre trip there, so I can't wait to take you guys through the Louvre.
Oh my gosh.
The-
And we had to limit ourselves on how long we were in there, but we still got to see a lot.
I could go back there, like I said, and just spend 2 weeks in the Louvre and not even see anything else in Paris. You know, and it's a lot of people complain about, oh, they've collected all this stuff from around the world, and it's shameful that you're not having these artifacts returned to their countries. Lucky for us, though, they are in one place, and so we got to tour through Egypt, through Rome, through Greece, all just in one walk. So, and medieval Europe's good.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. But yeah, like Josh said, you could spend weeks there and still probably not see everything. There's so much stuff there, and there were a few wings that were actually shut down for renovation while we were there. So we just kind of had to look at those through the bars.
Yeah, but so yeah, Paris. When you're in Paris, drink wine. Put the beer away. I'm sure they've got great beers and everything
Yeah.
else. Get their wines. They're affordable. They're delicious. They're from different regions. Ask, give a couple clues to the bartender, or to the waiter or waitress or whoever's there. But they're super nice. You just apologize for not being able to speak French right out the get go. I don't speak French. I am sorry. I like
words to start every conversation.
I like really dry wine, and I like this kind of food. And what can you suggest for me? And just let them take the lead on that, because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and like I said, we had intended to sit down and have this big, huge, just French dinner.
That's all we talked about in Bruges. Like, we're going to eat a little bit, of course, when we're in London with our buddies. But like, while we're in Paris, let's sit down and actually spend like the $300 and have the 5-star all the way meal. And we got full on charcuterie board.
Yeah,
we went
and crepes.
So, not hard to do. And chestnuts.
Yeah, but it was still, it was all amazing. Like
I can't wait to go back and see Paris in the summer and the spring, of course. And there's so much more to explore. I think you spend endless time in that town. But even if you do have just a short time, don't think that you can't go get your value out of it. Go over there and take just a day trip and get whatever you can get. There's just, like what we said, 2 days there, and feel like I've been there. I feel like I've seen it, and then try something else.
We only had one full day really, and then, like I said, we probably got there that first night, 8 o'clock at night or so.
Yeah,
so
still made it. Like, just could knock the Eiffel Tower out before we went to bed. So that's something to cross off the list. I was stoked about it.
Absolutely.
And I don't. The bigger cities in Europe are there's so much to see. So
yeah, but so this was part 1 of our adventures in Paris, and like we said, part 2 will be the Louvre.
2-hour train ride from London. If you're in London, don't miss Paris. Go see it.
Definitely worth it. And we'll, of course, not just the Louvre, but we'll talk. We had some interesting food and stuff throughout the day then too that we'll share.
Yeah,
but definitely, yeah. So hit that. What is it? Smash the subscribe. Hit the like.
People's elbow to the
elbow
like.
Drop it. Yeah.
Well, cool. We'll sign it off again for the Beyond the Buzzer. I hope you guys enjoyed Paris part 1, short little trip and stuff you can do quick while you're there, and then get ready for part 2 of the Louvre.
Yeah, it's definitely worth coming back for. So thanks for joining us again. I'm Kyle, aka the Duke.
This is Josh, aka S1. Everybody have a good night.
All right, peace.